from the top, so maybe I'll get even a little bit closer.
To put Mini Zeus over to the
Sure.
craft.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right, Tony, and as always, if you can help us keep an eye on the Sears camera. So go for port box. If I come in from the top, kind of dig my fingers in, try to pull it out. It should be at a nice angle along the wrist. Should be able to just set it straight down into the box. So
But
maybe
the top might still be outside the box then, right?
So I'm going to go with the port outer, so that if I need to rotate it, it has bigger, longer.
Oh, I see. So you have it.
Yeah.
It would be dangling, and if it were floating, it'd be touching your wrist. And if you
Right.
I bet
Hopefully the stock should help weigh it down as well.
overall it'll go stock down,
Yeah.
and you might have to poke the top in.
Yeah.
Maybe fly up.
Okay. Pots look good. Hydraulics up.
Yep.
Okay. Go with grip force 5.
It's smaller than I thought. I guess you could lay the arm down a little bit so that it would maybe be more perpendicular.
Can you follow me over on Mini Zeus?
Yeah.
So I'd say, I don't know if it broke, but it's probably a fair
Just
bit of
straighten out the Mini.
Sure.
stock in the mud.
Okay. Let me know when you're ready to open.
I think I can see some splayed spicules at the base.
Oh yeah,
there.
definitely
I was
can.
a bit surprised
Manipulator camera.
Oh yeah.
Further, but
Yeah,
it did
so
look like
yeah.
they
All right,
flared
we're ready
outward.
for the box.
Right, extending.
Yeah, watch lead. If you look up in the manipulator camera, you can see some of the spicules
Oh yeah, there you go.
coming down from below.
That's right. Yeah, we'll image those when it gets up on deck. It's a very nice whole specimen though.
That's a little long.
down.
Okay,
ready?
should be clear.
Perfect. Okay, want me to follow you around for stowage?
Sure.
There you go.
Okay. Craft hydraulics secure.
Alright. Main hydraulic secure.
That was port outer. Okay. All right, watch lead.
Great job.
Back with you.
Great job, front row.
Okay, coming out. And we'll line back up with
Again, they always look so
300.
much bigger on the screen until you
Yep.
see that claw. It takes a lot of
I'm
training.
gonna come
to
45
pluck
to
them out
port.
What's that?
and put them in a box.
That's right. So we'll look for red cup corals.
Is red cup corals. Now we saw ones with dark skeletons and light skeletons, but they both had pink flesh, right? So do both count?
Not sure.
So earlier, a fisherman, Roberto Silva, called in online, and he was mentioning how this area has these drastic temperature profiles. Up is another type of fish.
Lasers on.
Yeah, can you?
See what we got. Can do a partial zoom video. And hold that.
It's a different fish.
Yeah.
It's very thin, very slender.
Okay, let's get lasers off. You do zoom in tighter. Hold that.
Definitely haven't seen this fish yet.
No.
Very shiny.
Looks to be probing the seafloor.
It's almost like it's chromed.
Shiny and chrome.
It's like the other ones that were putting their heads directly into
Yeah.
the sediment.
Yeah, those were the tern fishes we were observing at the other site. All right, I think we're all set with that
Okay,
fish.
let's come out video. Get lasers back on.
All right, are we ready for 50 meters?
This has been a
Yeah,
pretty,
sure.
pretty high
Sure.
diverse fish community day at this site, and I've been getting messages from fishermen stating usually they catch a lot of different
Oh boy.
fish in this area. This could be maybe temperature, currents. We're really close to the shore
Yeah,
yet.
proximity to shore would be my guess. You know, presumably all of these fish are prey for some other fish. So, you know, I suppose that the six-gill shark isn't eating all of these small little fishes, but you know, there's some sort of predator that we haven't seen yet that might be eating these fishes.
Can you do a partial zoom video?
This might be one of your corals.
Oh yeah, is it the dark one?
I think so.
That would be a home run.
Is that what
Yeah,
we're looking for?
I think so. I might need to get a little bit of a better look.
Let's come out video, and I'm going to fly in closer. Got a little bit of tether left.
So if it is, we'll stop the ship in a moment once I get a little closer.
We haven't seen any sea pens on this dive yet, which is interesting. It looks to be a sea pen to the left, but this particular one in front of us seems to be the red we were talking about.
Steve, if that is the sea pen to the left, can we at least get a look at it after we've decided whether we want to collect this?
Yeah, that's fine. We can look there. So this looks like a cup coral. It looks a little bit different actually than the red cup coral we were looking at earlier, but maybe that's just because it seems to be looking at it from a slightly different angle. Maybe Scott, does this look like the similar one to you? It looks a little bit different to me.
Yeah, I agree. It looks a little bit different. I'm having a hard time seeing the septa in there, and
Can we try the high beams? Get the detail
like
we need.
each one has its own characteristics.
Yeah,
Right.
right.
Would you like high beams?
But maybe, you know, it could just be interest-specific variability. It could be that they're all
let's see
the
if it
same,
helps.
They just vary a little bit in
Okay, so
coloration.
if we're going to sample this, we should stop the ship soon. Just go ahead and do it, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, you can zoom in video.
And Pilot 2, while we're zooming, can we look over to the left at the sea pen
Sure.
while we
Come out video a little bit.
decide if this is another collection? Yeah, again, tough to say.
there.
Very difficult to identify cup corals visually. They all look different. We've zoomed on 3 or 4 of them so far, and they all seem to have slightly different characters.
Okay, go ahead video.
This looks to be an octocoral as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. This is a sea pen, so good eye on that. Really, really tall polyps relative to the main axis.
Yeah, it's not one I immediately recognize.
Yeah, I always have to go back to the key to remind myself. Some of the possibilities are things like prototylum. I don't think it's a helicurus.
Yeah, it seems to be
One
the...
of the things that we look at on sea pens, as you said, they're an
You got any more
octocoral,
zoom?
and they always appear a bit more fleshy than the sea pens that we see. They do have one rod
That's
that
Max.
extends down the length of that main axis, and that's actually one giant polyp. And then arising from the fleshy giant polyp are all these secondary polyps. And one thing we look for is to see, is there a fleshy lobe or an arm that's extending from which the polyps are coming, or are the polyps coming more or less directly off that main axis?
Do you see those spines at the bottom of the polyp,
That main axis.
Scott? I'm not...
What's that?
There are spines or sclerites that are extending from the bottom of the polyps. You see that now?
Yeah.
It's not a characteristic I'm
Oh yeah, yeah.
familiar with sea pens.
Yeah, so that could be kind of like it's not exactly a leaf, but at the base there's almost like a little shelf, and the polyp is arising from the shelf, so that'll help. I think that's more like the genus Holypterus.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. Thanks for that view.
Yep. Can we go back to the cup coral if it's not too difficult?
Sure. Is it? Did we decide if we want to collect it?
Yeah, I think we can go ahead. At least it'll help a little bit to try and identify what some of these cup corals are. I think it's worth it.
Sure.
I leave it up to you, but I think, potentially there could be some root-like structures, or some of these soft sediment cup corals are known to have projections from the bottom, so maybe a scoop might be the best way to approach this.
How deep are we thinking they extend into the sediment?
Maybe a centimeter or two.
These are very soft and gelatinous, right? Or is there any kind of hard?
There's hard skeleton in there. Yep. I mean, it's not extremely brittle that it's gonna. If you pick it up with the claw, it's gonna fall apart immediately. It'll.
Yeah, I think I might just try cradling it.
Okay.
In the jaw.
Sounds all right to us.
Hydraulics are up. Great, thanks.
Go port here or starboard outer, I think, is the two remaining.
Yep, I'm going to go port.
Copy.
Never collected one of these before. I think I should be able to cradle it in the jaw just fine. I just come in from the top, dig in underneath a little bit,
Maybe twist.
pluck it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's squishy, maybe you can like grip it a little bit.
Yeah.
You know.
So we'll go with we're going to go with the port inner box.
We'll get that ready.
Let's get the. Let me get the high beams off.
Yeah.
Maybe video can lighten that up. Okay, hydraulics up. Okay. I hear that grip force 3 was the lowest one that was actually closing the jaw.
I heard, yeah, Carl pulling that out.
Maybe I'll try that.
I'm gonna take your minis just so I can move it.
Sure.
When ready.
It's pretty light. Might need to go to 4 just so it can actually get through the sediment. Yeah. Okay. Can you take my Zeus as well?
Yeah. Come on up. Holding there.
Thanks.
Ready to open on your mark.
All the polyps closed up.
Want me to open?
Sure.
There's something on your jaw, or is it shadow?
I think it's just mud.
Oh, there's some mud caked in there. Nice.
Okay.
Alright, closing.
Yeah, let's check with the mini Zeus, but I think it's just mud.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice. Did your index or not on the jaw?
Index. You mean feather in?
Yeah, did you ever lock the jaw?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yep. I feathered in, reached the point where it wouldn't close anymore, and then
okay.
locked the jaw. And then the trick is, though, is that when you're going to stow it in the box, you don't want to have the button depressed, because if you're depressing it more than you were, it'll crush it. So that's why I just popped it open.
Got it.
Okay. Craft hydraulics secure.
Center up your mini Zeus here.
Cool. All right, ready?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, watch leads. Got it in the box. I think we're ready to continue on.
Great job.
Hydraulic secure.
Thank you, Levi. All right, so we've been moving at 330. We're just making our way up to waypoint 3 at this point. So I'll just kind of meander around here until we get Fernando in the seat.
Sounds good. Were you on 330 or
I'm sorry,
300?
300. Yeah. We were going, we did north and then 330, and then now we're at 300 going to waypoint 3.
Right. It's like a gentle slope. Pretty flat.
It's pretty flat.
And then it should, is it 10 meters, so not too steep.
Yeah, it won't be.
I think it was rocky down here, right?
Yeah, it was pretty steep down below.
Yeah.
They were hitting some
Good.
cliff faces there.
Crappy.
But it's been flat for the last hour and a half or so. Hi, Fernando.
So far we've collected two sponges, two
so when
types
you're
of
ready.
sponges, a stock glass sponge and a possible demo sponge.
When you're ready, why don't
Geolia.
we do a 50-meter move
And we also
at
collected a cup
300
coral that we've been seeing
speed
in this
decimal 2.
flat plain, sediment plain that we've reached.
Okay, 50-meter move,
We're
300.
slowly climbing up to the top peak of this
Yep.
mound.
All right, I'll turn over. 300 here.
What's our off-bottom time, Fernando?
There's our another
get a
sea
chance.
urchin.
Are
Not sure
we
if it's a
still-
regular sea urchin or an irregular sea urchin. I think it's a regular sea urchin.
A little bit of a buffer, yeah. Yeah, why don't we just say an extra 5 or 10 minutes?
Yeah, so I just put like 1625 on the recovery. So I've been
Let's do a flyby zoom here video.
It seems to be something,
Oh, interesting.
yeah, on the aboral side.
Is that a crab?
Let's
I
come
believe
out.
So. I
Let's
think
come
it's
out
a
video.
crab.
I'm gonna sit down and take a look at that. That's pretty interesting. And what was that, Fernando? Remaining? Okay. Spines are raising up. Let's get the lasers off. Okay, zoom in video.
Might be-
It's also,
yeah,
you see that?
fish. Yeah, that might be
I don't know if that looks like the...
no, I think the sea urchin is
Oh.
defecating.
Oh,
It's not a crab.
Yeah,
Not
fecal pellets.
yeah, not exciting. As a crab might
well.
be.
can't say I've seen that before, so
First for everything. And it looks like it's, yeah, you could see sargassum pieces. So it's definitely
Chomping down
chomping on the
sargassum.
sargassum on the bottom of the floor.
it's like it's carrying it away with its spines.
Yeah.
This is Chris Mott.
Hi, Chris.
Hello, Chris.
I, of course, would have to choose this moment because now we're watching this beautiful Ariostoma pooping. I live for this stuff. This is great. So this is an Echinothurid. This is one of those little those deep sea sort
Okay, more
of
zoom
fire
video.
urchin type things that we talked about over email. This is a beautiful shot of its behavior that you just don't get to see, like your day to day. This is, as you said, this is probably the sargassum or whatever it's been eating, and we're just taking a beautiful shot of sea urchin excrement just coming out of this is the anus that we're shooting right here. And also, by the way, so based on Dr. Posson's lovely wall chart of Bahamian echinoderms, I'm pretty sure this is the echinothurid known as Ariosoma. The two that he has
Right.
he has indicated for
Let's
this
come out
area
of that video.
are
We'll get a
Ariosoma and
full
Formosoma. So
specimen
Formosoma is
for
the
a few
one with
seconds.
the big bags, which act as
Hold
thought
that.
to act as sort of hypodermic
That's
needles
good.
as protection.
Picture
And
me.
then this
You
is
wanna try the high beams here?
Ariosoma, which I believe has these funny sort of round, I'm not sure if they're pecillaria or spine. I think they're spines that have these round tips to them. And at least one of these, if not both of them, are probably venomous. So if by some insane whim I asked to collect this, one of you would have the unfortunate
Let's
task of
zoom in.
carefully dealing with it later and,
zoom ahead, leave
you know,
that in a
hope
minute.
trying not to
Yeah,
get
hold
stung
that.
by it because these are related to the shallow water fire urchins that can sting you and give you a really kind of unpleasant sensation for a while. But as we'd indicated earlier, it has those nice little walking legs around the edge that allow it to walk on sediment. I noticed you picked up on that earlier. Well done.
Okay, let's come out.
And we're seeing
Full
the
wide,
sort of
minus the
excrement,
skids.
the sea urchin scat there on the sea bottom as well. This might
Hold that.
actually, might even have to change my whole mission log for Debbie.
And just a few seconds, and then I'll
It's
push ahead.
funnier than writing about scat. Well, I mean, it's one of those things people relate, strangely enough, people relate to behaviorally. So, but it does indicate
Okay.
a tie to the surface because
There you go.
you know, a lot of these will feed on organic material, which plummets down from the photic zone, and we're at 700, 600 meters right now.
High
So,
beams off.
Yeah.
and Dr. Posson has made accounts of this before, where a lot of these deep sea urchins will feed on detritus and other kinds of organic material, which rain down from the surface. And so, even what you do in the deepest part of the ocean, what is seen in the deepest part of the ocean does not escape what is happening on the surface. So definitely, a delightful few moments of sea urchin biology right there. Oh, and by the way, I was looking up some of those other things that you were earlier, and I think those little brittle stars, the ones that have kind of interesting curves while they're sitting on the ground, I think those must be the species Okeanos hystrix. Dr. Pawson and a lot of his colleagues in the 80s did a lot of exploratory work in the Bahamian region with the Johnson Sea Link, and he has a number of these species on pictures and on video and
Pilot.
the specimen. And so
Yeah, go ahead.
some of these have surprisingly good records, and unfortunately, the transition between
Sorry, I couldn't hear what you just said.
the videotape that they had is perhaps not as smooth. And
Sure.
I'm
How are
going
you
to
doing
see
on
if
that
I can
move?
talk to him about
Is it still
trying
going?
to convey the imagery
No.
to you guys.
Back
so
up a little
that
bit,
when
Levi.
How
How far back was it, Steve?
that knowledge isn't lost. But you're doing a great job. I'm enjoying it. Thanks for pointing out the 8-armed sea star earlier. Definitely a weirdo. Looking forward to seeing the next.
Chris, this is Debbie. We look forward to reading your mission log.
Do a flyby. Okay, go ahead and zoom in.
I will have to come up with a new one for this because the other one I was writing was more about sea stars, but poop trumps all.
Chris, if I could just follow up, it's Scott France here.
Is that enough?
Observing
Okay.
that urchin
Come out
and
video.
getting to see the defecation. It might be worth noting for those who aren't familiar with what the inside of an urchin looks like. If you were to crack that shell and look inside, most of the space is taken up by a very long intestine. It takes a lot of time, basically, to process whatever sort of detritus it can find. So that was interesting to finally see something emerging from the other end of that.
Yes, good. And it's also worth noting that the mouth is actually on the bottom, so that the poop is actually going up. It's not just following gravity. This and those aspidodiadematids are great examples of watching defecation in urchins, because those aspidodiadematids actually have a separate external sac, a translucent, I should say transparent sac, that that all of the poop just kind of congregates in, like one of those ball games that like a lottery bubble when they just kind of bubble around the top before they're expelled. I don't know why they do that, but shallow water diadematids like diadema have those as well. It's as far as I know, it's a fairly good diagnostic character for them, but I could be wrong.
I was actually going to ask you what the function of those, I guess, anal cones they would be, what the function was, but I guess no one really knows, huh?
Well, I mean, the function seems to be sort of that they aggregate the poop into that little sac before they're expelled. Perhaps it's some there's a muscularity to it that functions to further distance the excrement from the rest of the body.
So
I'm not sure exactly. I mean, there's a function and there's why the adaptation, the functional sort of value of why these animals have them, and that's the latter part that I work on sea stars, so I don't exactly know why an anal bulb is present on that group and not on the others. Perhaps there's some other dietary reason, or it has to do with some other, or it might not have a functional adaptive reason at all. It could just be some kind of odd characteristic of this group. But yeah, if you're looking for stories about poop, it's always about urchins and to a lesser extent about sea cucumbers.
Yeah.
Sea stars don't really do a lot of the poop stories, and I don't think urchins, like brittle stars, don't even have an anus, so it's not tough to be a brittle star. Anyway, I'll let you go. It looks like you're having some fun with this deep sea sedimented plane. So.
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks, Chris. I'll never be able to watch the lottery numbers again.
Get that sort of excitement. That was great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Zoom in. Kill the
Bye-bye.
lasers.
Bye.
Never going to be able to watch those lottery numbers again without thinking about echinoids. Echinoderms
Go in tighter.
doing their business.
Hold that.
We saw one of these earlier.
That's right. Rachanina?
Yeah,
Or
Rachanina.
Rachanina? Rachinin...
Crassa. I
Yeah,
think it definitely
Rachinia.
was cross.
Rachinia crassa.
Okay, let's go ahead and
There's
get
a lot of
another move.
barnacles.
50
You can see
meters,
some
300.
barnacles on the,
Oh, yeah.
the back end of the carapace, as well as on some of the legs, indicative that this particular individual hasn't molted recently. A lot of these shelled organisms, these arthropods, they molt regularly, or maybe not so regularly, depending on which group it belongs to, but that's how they typically will grow, shedding their exoskeleton and growing a new one.
And when they do molt, they're sensitive to to any type of predators before they grow their shell again.
I know.
Carapace.
I don't know if it's through all the crustaceans, but a lot of crustaceans will consume their molt to increase. At least with lobsters, I know it's true. They'll consume their molt so they can get calcium back into their system, so they can
to reproduce.
reproduce their new exoskeleton. It also helps hide evidence from potential predators in the area. Very cool. It's kind of creating these feeding currents so it can sense what's in the water column around it.
We have plenty of time to get to waypoint 3.
Okay. Yeah, and I think we
Excellent.
want to spend some time exploring that
All right.
peak there.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Great.
Zoom out video.
Ready to go. Yeah, you would think, right, if crustacean molts didn't either break down very quickly, or they were,
Get lasers
you
back
would
on.
find them on the seafloor, kind of like snakeskin.
Well, we do. When I go
Yeah.
diving, I
You
see
do?
a lot of lobsters.
Hmm.
Yeah, they're molt.
The Caribbean spiny lobsters.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing these particular species have a very long interval between molt.
Yeah.
What is that there? Now the cup coral, huh? I think so.
Yep. Looks like it.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
like the same one we collected. Yeah, they look, another one coming up. They look like anemones, but
Yeah.
you get closer, you can see that it's a little bit more hard substance under that skeleton, under that tissue. Looks like another tripod fish. Can we snap zoom on the fish there?
Sure. We'll do a flyby here. Go ahead and zoom in.
Oh, yep.
Hold
Perfect.
that.
Yeah. So this was the second tripod fish we saw. That's great, pilot.
Okay.
Bathyterois.
Okay, let's come out video.
Bigelowii.
No, viridensis. I think this is the one that's paler, so it's the
Yeah.
viridensis.
That was the first one we saw. That was the darker one. I'm going back to double check here. Viridensis was the first one we saw. I think it was a bit darker.
Yeah, no, that the viridensis, I believe, is the paler version. Could be wrong.
Couple of fish up ahead.
Couple fish. So, pilots, I'm noticing more of these as we're going along. There's what look to be like quill worm tubes. They're worm tubes that are kind of lying flat on the seafloor, but some of them are bitonal. That is, they have a lighter portion and a darker portion. And I'll try to alert you if I see one that's out of its tube.
Sure. We'll be ready.
Yeah, they're just lying on the bottom.
Okay. Which one of these are you interested in?
We could just do a snap on both of them. I guess we have time.
Let's do a zoom here video.
Steve, there may be one of those
Hold
tubes
that.
just going off frame to the left, so near the fish.
30 meters into the 50-meter move.
Okay.
We'll take a look at that worm tube on our way out, Scott. Thanks. Looks good.
Okay, let's come out.
That seems to be
Full wide, please.
Nizumia, similar species to what we've been seeing today.
It looks like maybe a halosaur.
Okay, let's go partial.
I think so.
Hold that. And we need to look between the eyes, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so let's zoom in
The
more.
scaly region between the eyes, right on top of the
Hold
head.
that.
Looks pretty scaly. Excellent.
Okay, let's come out video.
So the worm tube that we're kind of looking for, there was one to the lower left, or
How am I looking, Levi?
kind of in the, I
66.
see another one actually in the 11 o'clock position too, just
I got
to
it.
the left of that mound.
Okay. Let's do a partial zoom. In frame still here. Hold that. It's not in frame.
Yeah,
Okay, let's come out.
I don't see what I thought it was. All right,
Yeah, let's just move on.
yeah, we can keep going, pilot.
Okay.
We'll keep an eye out.
Okay, zoom past the skid, please.
Sometimes you can see them, they actually move pretty quickly along the seafloor. Another cup coral. Well, we made pretty good time. We covered a lot of distance today.
Yeah.
Still have a little over an hour on bottom.
Oh, wait.
Sidarid, maybe? I don't know. Or maybe a crinoid.
Back up a bit.
Okay, we should be coming to stop shortly.
Okay. What is this here?
Oh, a bottle?
Bottle.
Plastic bottle, maybe?
Can we do a partial zoom video? Hold that.
Or some metal pipe?
Yeah.
That looks like a hose of some sort.
Okay, we can come out video.
I am noticing in the seafloor these very thin tracks in the sediment, so those could be evidence of the quill worms we've been seeing. Like a 10-armed
Crinoid.
crinoid. To look very closely for these quill worms. They're a little difficult to spot. Noticing more of these sea pens, though. At least one on screen now.
Okay, I think they should stop already.
Great.
And this area seems there to be like a little bit larger debris, like on the seagrass and than our other dives.
To the right-hand side, off frame right now, I just saw what could be a fish.
Copy, Bridge. Thank you.
Kind of in the 2 o'clock position off the frame to the right. Oh, looks like another tripod fish. I think we've seen that one quite a bit.
We'll do a partial zoom video just real quick. Hold that. Okay.
Now there's something else there, maybe an anemone in the sediment.
Is it a
There's a
sea
fish.
robin, maybe?
Trying to
Let's do
remember
a partial zoom.
when we saw this fish last. Was it?
I think we saw one yesterday.
Did you see one yesterday? I thought it was a little
2
deep for
days
this
ago?
fish yesterday. Maybe 2 days ago.
2
Yeah.
days ago, yeah.
It must have been on lunch
At the
break.
at the amphitheater.
Do you want to sit down and get a closer look, or are we happy with our ID now?
I think we'll keep moving.
Okay. Let's come out video.
Do you want another move?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, let's come out video. Yeah, we'll do 50 meters at 300.
Copy.
Yeah, I think that was from the amphitheater. That seems right, like the right depth range we were looking at.
So we're almost to the peak of the mound. Our depth is right now 641 meters. Temperature is 9.4 degrees Celsius.
It's pretty hot video.
Oh, one of those bivalves. Not bivalves, gastropods.
We're approaching waypoint 3 right now. So we're just in a little depression, what looked like a depression in the seafloor, but it seems to be
Hi, Roland.
actually still going up. But on waypoint 3 here, we're going to climb another about 40 meters pretty quickly. 30 meters. Yeah, I do have it. Oh, perfect. Yeah, about climb up another 40 meters, 35 meters before we make it to the summit of this, and then we'll see what's up there. I can see much larger blades of seagrass as well. Can we look off to the left on whatever this dark depression is in the seafloor? I think that might be a cup coral now that I look at it. Just a snap zoom.
Yeah, just a partial zoom video.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Okay, let's come out.
Thanks.
You can zoom past the skid anytime you want, Roland.
We still have time for that third shark.
What about the whales and
And the
dolphins?
whales and the dolphins. There's still time.
You never know what you're going to find. This is a pretty steep
halfway through the move.
little mound here.
Okay.
Don't forget the octopus in your list.
There you go.
And the school of queen snapper just as you pick off bottom.
Ah, that's, yeah.
No, we're still a little deep for their depth range as provided to us by the scientists ashore. But of course, a lot of these deep water fishes, their maximum depth is not well known. Which is one of the things we're going to be looking at. We were at around 460 meters, 450 meters when we were, at the amphitheater south of St. Croix a couple days ago, when we managed to see at least 2 queen snappers.
What's really cool is that a lot of times, I mean, the only view you have of these snappers is when they are caught and dead and maybe on your dinner plate. So seeing them in their natural habitat is very different.
Who's talking to me? Sorry. I thought you were listening. Sorry.
I can't hear what they're saying.
Oh, looks like
Another crab.
one of those crabs.
Do a partial zoom, Roland. We've seen a couple of these already, but actually this guy looks a little different,
this is
doesn't
different,
he?
yeah.
It'd be very cool for a nice pirouette.
Let's get lasers off.
Maybe it's a younger version.
37
Yeah,
meters.
younger,
Do you
yeah,
want to
but
stop the ship.
It hasn't wrapped its tilson
we're okay.
underneath. It's weird.
I wonder if it's holding eggs under there, insulating the eggs. That's where the females would hang on to eggs in the pleopods.
The first pair of appendages seems to be
Yeah, that's a strange looking crab.
a little bit spinier than what we were seeing before. So it almost looks like a chirostylid crab, but it's totally possible it's just a younger. What's underneath? Is that a piece of a fish? A shiny
I
bit?
believe it's just a shell.
I don't think it would be a chirostylid.
He keeps turning away from us as we're going around.
Because the body seems a little bit more elongate. That's
Getting
why
some
I
dust.
say that.
Yeah, that's from me stopping hard earlier.
But I'm gonna wait to have some confirmation from the shore. So it looks a
0.8
little
meters
weird
above the seafloor
to
right
be.
now.
Yeah.
What did we see before? What was it called?
Push into its face.
Hold on.
Rocinia.
I'm going to move in.
Rocinia. I need to figure out how to say that.
Yeah. I always pronounce the scientific name in Spanish.
Okay, let's go in, Roland.
If he steps on that
did it-
overroid, it might
Did it,
get active.
no, its tail is still not tucked under.
No, it's weird.
Abdomen. Yeah, I think this is
Very
very different
strange.
than the crab we saw
Standby
earlier that
overroid.
had the long legs.
How's that move, Fernando? Are we anywhere near the
This
end?
is the kind of crab we usually see
We are.
on corals, but
Yeah, we're pretty close to it.
you know, with these
Yeah,
very
it
long
should
arms, it
just
uses
stop
to
actually.
ambush
Okay.
prey as it swims by. Sometimes a salp, maybe a fish.
Looks like we're at the end of the move. I've got you at 90.
It's more reminiscent of
Copy
that
that.
than
Straight
of
down.
this
We should be
larger
okay.
crustacean we've been seeing with the 30-40 centimeter
It's interesting.
leg span.
I don't think I've ever seen one of these before.
It's the first one I've ever seen.
So, I agree it might be related to that, but I'm looking at the claws and the
Copy bridge, thank you.
rearmost
Go tight to the
walking
face
leg,
again.
and they're not hooked enough.
I'm going to try to
be the
set
type
down
that
here.
Typically is hanging on to the corals, I think.
Right.
And again, it's very common for these crabs, the females, when they're carrying embryos, to ventilate the pleon like that, the abdomen,
Yeah.
hang it down. So that might be what's going on.
Yeah,
My rotator's
can't
maxed out,
quite
but I
see-
think we're stopped. So.
Yeah.
well in there.
We've only been having like a minute and a half of swing or so.
Yeah, I
That's
wasn't
good.
able to actually see any embryos there.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go in tight, Roland.
Great view. I also wonder if it's recently molted. It's so clean looking.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah. I imagine it would be kind of hard for a crab like this to clean itself,
Throw on the extra lights.
given the constraints of its
Roland
appendages.
wants the high beams.
Oh,
And so he starts cleaning them.
yeah. Ooh.
So does D2 want
Very
to do a
cool.
show
Scarier
with
now.
this crab?
I think this is the standoff.